The tree is decorated. The table is decorated. And there's snow on the ground. Must be almost Christmas. Time to make some food. Let's go to the kitchen. Hello again, everybody. It's Migueltio in the North Country Latino. Can you believe it's almost 5 years of this awesome program? Anyways, we're going to make something different today for Christmas. A Christmas pudding. Not the kind of pudding they have in Great Britain and everything. It's got the big toppings to it and everything. Looks almost like a cake. This is more of a pudding, but a cooked pudding, not instant. You make it out of a box. Natilla. Natilla is a Colombian Christmas traditional pudding. And it's basically almost like a custard, like a flan, but a little different. It doesn't have all the eggs in it and everything that the flan has. But it's big at Christmas time in Colombia. So we start today with about a pound of brown sugar. Cane if you can get it. Put that into a saucepan. Pat it down. You want the dark, well-packed brown sugar. The best kind you can get. The light's okay, but you want the dark texture for this. Get yourself a cup measure. Throw in a cup of water. Get it out of the sink. There you go. Prove I'm doing it. And a couple of cinnamon sticks. Good size. You don't want the big ones that can't fit in your saucepan, so get a couple of the smaller ones. Throw it in. Turn it on, low heat. And stir until the brown sugar dissolves. So it's starting off this way. And you want to heat it maybe about, 10 minutes or so. Bring it to a boil, actually. I'm going to turn my heat up a little bit more, so it's medium, not too low. Bring it to a boil. Then don't keep it on there forever and ever and ever. You're going to start having caramel. That'd be great if we were making torlones again, but this is natilla, you know. You don't want to have this stuff in the bottom of your pan. You don't want the pudding to be burned. You have to really watch it with sugars. Cooking sugars on the stove is great, but you have to stay with it because that stuff will burn on like plaster of Paris if you let it go and don't stay stern with it or monitoring it. So let it boil. While that's heating up, also mix in 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. Stir those in well. See a lot of ground cloves in Christmas cooking recipes. And boiling it is, so we're going to get that right off the heat. And just set it aside. You don't have to do anything else with it. Just set it aside until we mix it later. And in the meantime, you're going to take 1.25 cups of cornstarch. Get something like Hodgson Mill. One of the better starches out there. I don't do a lot of cooking with cornstarch, but sometimes it's essential, you know. And a cup of milk. Skim milk. And you're going to mix these two together until they're smooth. Get that cup in there. These wooden stirring spoons from Pampered Chef are awesome, aren't they? I mean, I think they sold them like for rice and stuff, but they're great for mixing anything so it doesn't stick. And I don't think anything I've ever mixed these things with have ever stuck. So combine this all together, okay, and set it aside. Now you want to a little bigger of a saucepan than the other one. And in that saucepan, we're going to add some more milk to it. Now in this larger saucepan, you're going to put 4 cups of milk. And then you're going to heat it on medium. But do not, under any circumstances, let it boil. Just get it warm. No boiling. Boy, does milk ever scald if you get it boiling. You got a mess if you let this boil. So don't do it. Anyways, 4 cups of milk are in. Throw this milk back in the fridge. It's not sitting out here curdling, you know what I'm saying? So get that boiling. And you got a mess. Keep it warm, not boiling. Get out one of these cool little wire wisps. And that keeps everything off the sides and off the bottom of the pan. So watch that till it's warm. Okay, now that this is warm, and it is, believe me, you're going to take your mix of the brown sugar and the cloves and the cinnamon. First off, get rid of the cinnamon sticks. Okay, they were there long enough. You don't want somebody biting down and, oh my God, you got a big dental bill. So no cinnamon sticks inside the pudding. That would be treacherously terrible. Get that thing out of there. There we go. And you're going to pour this into the milk mixture that's on the stove. Well, this isn't quite a mixture, it's just milk. If there's any stuck to the side, which can happen, just scrape it out. As much of that cinnamon and clove mixture in there as you want, as you can get, really. Okay. And then, same thing with this is the milk mixture. With the milk and the cornstarch. You're going to add that also. And just stir it around a little bit again, just to make sure that cornstarch doesn't set. You want it to stay smooth within the milk. Once you've achieved that, if you had to, pour it in. And now this is where your wire whisk is going to come into play. Because you're going to whisk this to make sure nothing burns. Till it's nice and thick. And it'll thicken as you go. I've made Tim Blakey and stuff on the stove, and it does the same thing. But really stay with it again. You don't want to have a mess. Have on hand a nice baking dish like this Pyrex. Sprinkle on the bottom some ground coconut. Distribute that around. You're going to pour the pudding over this once it's thickened. Out the handle, hello. Like a little bed, like a manger. There's a Christmas theme for you. I don't know idea if they thought of that when they made this, but I just did. Oh well. Still stirring. It's getting there. I can feel it getting thicker. Just gotta be patient. Good food takes some patience. Tough concept in this microwave app world we live in right now. Want everything done in 30 minutes in a microwave. We want to order ahead of time on our app and get it delivered to our house. Not to say there aren't good chefs out there for doing those kinds of things, but good home-cooked food takes some patience. And the kind of stuff you make at Christmas time, you usually don't want it to be cheap junk, you know what I'm saying? It is. So we're going to pour it into one of these cool little Pyrex dishes. Stir around, get all the stuff off the bottom as you're moving it in. And from there, it's gonna set. Thick and smooth. Just spoon out some of it off the bottom. Mix it around. Once it's thickened, it's really ready to get off the stove. So there we are, nice and thick and creamy. Mix that around. And if you get some off the bottom, some of that will be a little thicker than the stuff on the top. I was able to get that off before it careened over everywhere. And Pyrex makes a really cool cover for their dishes. So you want to cover it, and then it's going to go in the fridge. And in that fridge it's going to sit, so it can set for a good 4 hours at least, or overnight. We'll be back for the great results. Well, 4 hours later and then some, doesn't that look yummy? Natilla, an awesome Colombian pudding for Christmas, for Navidad. And I'm going to shake a little syrup over it, a little cinnamon over the top of that. Ready to eat. And this is a special shout out to all the teachers at South Louis Middle School, because guess what? This awesome pudding's coming with me tomorrow for our holiday luncheon for dessert. So Merry Christmas to all my coworkers. Merry Christmas to everybody around the district, South Louis, all the administrators, the teachers, the staff, and everybody. And Merry Christmas and Feliz Navidad to everybody out there. Hopefully you're enjoying your natilla, your tornones, your arroz con gandules, your coquito, anything you're making this holiday season, cookies of any kind, or cakes, or anything. Enjoy. It's the time to make food you don't make the rest of the year. Feliz Navidad, Prospero Año Nuevo. Coming up, my 5-year anniversary. I think I'm going to do chocolate. I have a recipe for chocolate rosca de reyes that I found. But in the meantime, this is natilla. Wait, we can't forget the students. Merry Christmas to all the students of South Louis Central School District. Go Falcons.